College professors across America are being shouted down in some cases for their anti-American views. They don't want pro-capitalism, pro-American voices from their students on campus. Well, one of those professors just got canned. Claire, Michigan Tech, a very famous school for technology and advanced sciences, has a professor named Carl Blair that might have been replaced after an outcry for what he did. Let me explain. There's a conservative group on campus, the Young America's Foundation, YAF. It's all across the country. It's young people who are conservative, believe in the Constitution, believe in free enterprise, believe in capitalism, you know, all those horrible things that progressives hate. He launched a tirade against YAF after their Freedom Week on campus. In other words, this group has this educational thing. They teach people about freedom, about the founding of the country, about the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, all the things that make us unique and important as a country. And he said that when they built a Berlin Wall mock-up to commemorate the 34th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall, which was basically capitalism defeating communism, thanks to Ronald Reagan, among others, he called it childish and stupid. And he said, quote, "For those of you who weren't aware of it, YAF's Freedom Week, good. For those of you who were aware of it, Freedom Week is childish, stupid, homophobic, dumb, and racist." And that's the polite version. This guy thinks that speaking out on campus, not in class, promoting America, promoting American values is childish, stupid, homophobic, and racist. After an outcry all across the country, he was suspended. We don't know if he's been fired or not. He's just replaced for the rest of the semester. And the students are outraged. We ought to be able to speak freely on campus. We ought to be able to promote pro-American views on campus. We ought to be able to tell people about the Constitution. And yet, this guy said, tear down that wall and encourage other students to do it. What's going on college campuses that people like this are tenured professors?
Well, I would say in the first place, it's really heartening and good to see an organization like the Young Americans for Freedom on campus and speaking out and standing up, you know, to these anti-American Marxist communist influences on the campus. It goes back, I'm afraid, quite a long way, Barry. It goes back, you know, to the infiltration of these communist Marxist elements who themselves, you know, grew out of the brats of the 1960s and went into academia themselves, became professors and deans and presidents of colleges and so forth. I mean, that's where it comes from, a full court press by what Antonio Gramsci and Rudy Dutschke would have called the long march through the institutions over these last decades that didn't get enough attention while it was developing. But bottom line for this story is good for those Young Americans for Freedom on that campus. They're doing the right thing, and it's very good to see that there are some who will stand up to these leftist communist professors and these influences on campus.
Do you think it's, and I hope to God you give me an affirmative on this. I'm not telling you to. Do you feel like this is going to catch on, Claire, and America's values, the system that we are based on, our freedoms and the guarantees of those freedoms? Is that a movement that's spreading against this insane communist bring down America spiel of so many thousands?
You know, I do really hope so. And I think it's not so much a matter of spreading. That already, I think, is the majority in America of the American people and of students even on our university campuses. And perhaps it just took a little bit for them to find their voices, to organize, to stand up. Maybe they weren't really expecting or ready for the magnitude, the extent, you know, of the Jew hatred, the anti-Semitism, and anti-Americanism that they were confronted with. But I think a lot of our young people, students on our university campuses, were raised in good families, and they bring those values and those principles with them to campus. May they continue to stand up and speak out.